Hi guys and welcome back to RWA Productions. Bradley Young here. As the club has been announcing a few striking forces, and apparently we are after two signings. We are after someone called Matko Babić and someone called obviously Thomas Cannon from Everton. So I'm going to show you some pictures on my screen, guys, and I'm going to obviously talk a little bit about this situations with some players who we are linked with, some outgoings, and obviously about Tony Mowbray. So we're going to be talking about a lot about this player here. Obviously, he was on loan with us last season from Manchester United, and that's Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo obviously had a lot of starts for Sunderland, and he scored 14 goals for Sunderland. Especially his last goal for obviously against Luton Town in the first leg of the playoffs, and obviously his last game was against Preston, his last league game, and he scored in that one as well. So Craig says, hi Brad, how you doing, Craig? You alright? Happy birthday to Craig Jeff. One of our moderators just letting you know, just wishing him a big happy birthday. Happy 20th birthday to Craig Jeff. So Amad Diallo. So obviously he's had 14 goals from 38 appearances for Sunderland. Obviously, he scored 14 goals. Obviously, that goal from Luton Town in the first leg and against Preston, his last league game he scored. Amad Diallo is obviously linked with us, but also he's linked with Preston and he's linked with Southampton, Leeds and Sheffield United and Burnley. He's linked with five other clubs, as well as us. So Amad Diallo apparently wants to stay in the United Kingdom. So that will be interesting. Who will go out on loan and where he will go to? That will be very interesting. But for me, Amad Diallo, I don't see him coming back to Sunderland, even though I love him too. As much as I love him too, I think he won't come back to Sunderland myself. But obviously, it's up to Manchester United what they do. It's not up to Amad Diallo what he wants to do. Obviously, it's up to Manchester United itself, because apparently Manchester United are listening for offers, what's going on. So apparently they're going to listen out for the offers, what's going on with Amad Diallo. So our next person who we're going to talk about is obviously a man who could be leaving, and apparently a lot of Premier League clubs are apparently attracting him. And that's number 20, Jack Clarke, who plays for Sunderland. Obviously featured a lot of games last season as well. He scored quite a lot of goals for Sunderland last season. I don't know how many goals he scored for Sunderland. I can't even remember how many goals he scored. Obviously, I can have a look for you. 2 seconds. So, Jack Clarke, he was born on the 23rd of November 2000. So, Jack Clarke for Sunderland has had 17 games on loan last season and scored 1 goal. That was in the 22 campaign in League One. Then he went back to the Championship on a permanent deal, obviously, which he's still at the club now. And he's had 45 starts and 11 goals. So, obviously, Jack Clarke will be looking to remain at Sunderland, because apparently he does want to move from Sunderland. But Tony Mowbray says he's not offering like a contract at the moment. He's not offering contract talks at the moment. So I don't know what's going on with Jack Clarke. I don't know if he's departing Sunderland. I don't know if obviously if a big offer comes in, like just say 25, 30 million for the lad, obviously you would see him go for that much. But I don't see him actually leaving Sunderland. I actually think he'll stay. At Sunderland. I think he'll sign the contract, to be fair. And I think Jack Clarke will stay at the club for quite a while, to be honest. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Jack Clarke. Obviously his last goal was against, I can't remember, well, it was yesterday in the pre-season friendly. His last goal was against South Shields. He scored 2 goals against South Shields, to be honest. And he was born in York, Jack Clarke as well, just a little bit of information. His last goal for Sunderland, he scored against, trying to think who he scored against, the last goal. I think his last goal was against Preston North End as well. Yeah, it was Preston North End, because Jack Clarke obviously had scored the second. No, he scored the last goal. He scored the third goal, Jack Clarke, to make a 3-0 Sunderland. So his last goal was against Preston North End on the 8th of May 23, sorry. So our next person who we're going to talk about is obviously a lot is about Tony Mowbray, Sunderland manager. He's 60. I think he's 60 years of age, Tony Mowbray. He's had plenty of experience in the Championship, Tony Mowbray. Obviously, he's 59-year-old. I was very close. Tony Mowbray, he's 59-year-old. He started his career at Middlesbrough for his senior career. He played for Middlesbrough 348 games from 1982 to 1991, so 9 years at the club. Scored 26 goals. 1991 to 1995, he played for Celtic, 77 appearances, 5 goals. Then he had a 5-year spell at Ipswich Town, 1995 to 2000. Ipswich Town, 128 appearances and 5 goals. Managerial career, he was an Ipswich caretaker manager in 2002. Then he went on to Hibernian in 2004 to 2006. Then he went to West Bromwich Albion from 2006 to 2009. Then he went to Celtic from 2009 to 2010, so 1 year at Celtic. Then he went to Middlesbrough for 3 years, 2010 to 2013. Then he had a year at Coventry, 2015 to 16. Blackburn Rovers, he spent 5 years at Blackburn from 2017 to 2022. And he manages Sunderland now. So there's a lot about Sunderland, to be honest. What he's done, apparently, not apparently, he has. He's led Black Cats to the AFL Championship playoffs, finishing 6th in his first season. Sunderland won the first leg against Luton Town 2-1, but the Stadium Light, but losing in the second leg 2-0, going out a 3-2 defeat. Obviously, Mowbray was appointed Sunderland manager on the 30th of August when he replaced Alex Neil. Obviously, for me, Tony Mowbray has done a really, really sensational job last season. Obviously, getting Sunderland back into the playoffs. Obviously, battling last game of the season to get into the playoffs because I think we're something like 7th or 8th place. And we had to finish in the 6th place to get the playoff positions. And we actually managed to get the playoff positions. So I'm actually proud of Tony Mowbray what he's done for the club this season. The next one who we're going to talk about is obviously linked with this player, Everton player, youngster. He's only 20 years of age, and that's Thomas Cannon. Thomas Cannon, apparently, what I've heard of him, apparently he's really, really good, I've heard. So Thomas Cannon is a 20-year-old forward. He's a striker. Last played for Everton in the under-23s. But then he went on loan last season. He went on loan out to Preston North End back in January. Having 28 appearances, scoring 8 goals from 28 appearances, which is quite good. So apparently Everton under-23s, I can't see his goals in there. He's had 5 appearances in under-21s for Everton and scored 5 goals, so that's quite good. And obviously 20 goals for Preston, scored 8 goals. Well, I really can't comment on him because I don't know much. I haven't seen him much play, and obviously for Everton, because obviously he hasn't been in the Everton team that much. He hasn't even been in the Everton team. I can't remember playing. I can't even say he played for Everton, to be honest. But he's a really good player, apparently, that Thomas Cannon, I've heard. But I'm going to get a bit of more of a statement up from Everton Football Club. See, I think, don't get me wrong here. So Thomas Cannon. So Aintree-born Thomas Cannon joined Everton aged 10, and when he was 18, he signed his first professional contract in March 2021. A Republic of Ireland youth international, he made his Everton under-18s debut at age 16 and scored on his second appearance on that level in April 2019. The curtailed 2019-20 season yielded 16 goals in as many games, 13 starts, including 4 in a 10-0 demolition over Sunderland. Interesting. Cannon was formidable again for the following season. He scored at a rate of a goal at every other game in 20 under-18 appearances. Well, steadily being introduced to under-23s football. There were 13 appearances from the bench and 1 start for the older age team. Cannon netted twice in addition to an ever-presented role in Everton's run to the FA Youth Cup quarter-finals. He was chosen by coaches and staff to receive the Tony Heslop Award, which an honours player who represents the Players' Club with distinction and passion at the 2020-21 Academy Awards. Cannon impressed in his first full season as a fully fledged England under-23 in 2021-22, scoring 8 goals in 23 appearances to finish as the team-leading marksman. The forward very much picked off where he started of the 2022-23 campaign, bagging 12 goals and just 16 under-21 appearances including impressive strikes against Football League sides Hartlepool, Mansfield and Lincoln City in the Papa John's Trophy. The Aintree-born talent's good form saw him working closely with the senior side, being rewarded for his Premier League debut at Bournemouth in November and travelling a mid-season tour of Australia where Cannon scored against Western Sydney Wanderers. Taking his next step in terms of development, Cannon joined Championship club Preston North End in January of that season where he thrived. The forward scored 8 goals in 19 league matches and was a regular in the side as Preston narrowly missed out on a playoff spot. Obviously, we beat the team. We beat can't remember. We actually beat Preston on the last day of game of the season, and obviously if Preston would have beat us, they would have went up. But obviously we beat Preston. So apparently that Sunderland are linked with him for 3 million plus add-ons, because apparently they don't want to get him on loan, they want to get him permanently. According to obviously the reports what I've heard. And lastly, I haven't heard much about this player. And it's Matija Frijan. I can't pronounce his name. It's Matija Frijan. So this player here, he has obviously he plays for the Croatian 2020 under 21. Sorry, not 2021. He plays for under 21s for Croatia. Matija Frijan, as obviously he's born on the February 11, 2003. His main position is a centre forward. Other positions he can play at left wing or right wing as well. Obviously his contract doesn't expire until June the 15th, 2025. His last club he played for was HNK Rijeka. And he was sold for 650,650k, so that's just under 750,000 million. But his career stats are really quite good for me. His appearances, he's had 42 appearances in the Supersport HNL League. He scored 17 goals from that. Then he went on to the Priva NL, so he scored 13 appearances, so he scored 4 goals. Havriska Nordrutri Cup, he scored 1 goal in 4 games. EACL qualifiers appearances 2, scored none. In Europa League 1, scored none. So for me, he's had 62 starts, 22 goals from all that. For me, I think that's quite a good goal scoring effort, to be honest, for a young player like obviously Frigita. He's only 20 years of age as well. 1.85 meters in height, so I don't know how many inches that is in height. So if you want us to look at that, guys, for you, 5 meters. But he's a really, really good striker, apparently, I've heard. So Tony Mowbray, Speakman, and everyone else is doing a really, really good job at Sunderland Football Club. Try to get everyone in, try to get a lot of players in before the season starts. Obviously, the season starts in about 4 weeks' time against Ipswich. So yes, that's everything I need to cover off them topics. So please subscribe to the channel, guys. Get subscribers up. We're 74 away from 400 subscribers. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the channel as well if you're liking the content, what you're seeing so far. And we'll see you again very, very soon.